Satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nichalatatvam, nichalatatve jivanmuktihi, punarapi jananam, punarapi marana, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. इह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे कृपया पारे பாகி முரா.
எனக்கு தெரியல என்ன
ஏன்னா இதுல
நீங்க போலாம்.
ஓம் ஸ்ரீ குருப்யோ நமஹ. ஹரிஹி ஓம். சதாசிவசமாரம்பாம் சங்கராச்சார்ய மத்யமாம் அஸ்மதாச்சார்ய பர்யந்தாம் வந்தே குருபரம்பராம். ஸ்ருதிஸ்மிருதிபுராணானாம் ஆலயம் கருணாலயம் நமாமி பகவத்பாதம் சங்கரம் லோகசங்கரம். ஓம் சகனா பவது சகனௌ புனக்து சக வீர்யங்கரவாவஹை தேஜஸ்வினாவதீதமஸ்து மா வித்விஷாவஹை. ஓம் சாந்தி ஷாந்தி ஷாந்தி. ஓம் சர்வ வேதாந்த சித்தாந்த கோச்சரம் தமகோச்சரம் கோவிந்தம் பரமானந்தம் சத்குரும் பிரணதோஸ்மியம். 143. கவலித தினநாதே துர்தினே சாந்திரமேகைஹி யதயதி ஹிமஜஞ்சாவாயு உருக்ரோயதைதான் அவிரத தமசாத்மன்யாவிருதே மூடபுத்திம் க்ஷபயதி பகுதுக்கைஸ்தீவ்ர விக்ஷேபசக்திः. கவலித தின நாதே துர்தினே சாந்திரமேகைஹி வியதயதி. Durdine, on a very cloudy day, on a day when there is so much of disturbance in the sky in the form of, heavy clouds and cloud movements. Kavalita Dinanatha. Dinanatha means the sun. Kavalitam means swallowed. When the sun is swallowed by word Sandra Meghi, the violent clouds, dense clouds, when they have swallowed the sun, then what happens? Vyathayati hima janja vayuhu. The cold wind, the blast, violent winds, Vyathayati, makes the sun as though disturbed, trouble. Yatha, graha, yatha. Likewise, yetan, avirata thamasa, atmani avrite, muda buddhim. When the muda buddhi, the ignorance, just like the heavy clouds accompanied by violent winds, swallows the sun and makes it appear that there is so much darkness, the sun is moving here and there, it is being dangerously affected by the wind and the clouds. That's how it looks. Similarly, avirata tamasa, by this ignorance, intense ignorance, atmani avrite, when the atma is covered, just like the cloud here, the ignorance is like the cloud. It covers the atma, muda buddhim kshapayati. So it creates all kinds of illusion. Bahudukkaihi tivra vikshepa shaktihi. Lot of dukkha is dropped on this person because of this whole ignorance which creates a lot of turbulence in life. Everything becomes true. Every cloud is a true cloud. And actually the sun is not affected. Sun is way far off and it is untouched. In fact, these clouds are moving only because of this very sun. The sun created the water to become evaporated and becomes the cloud, and the clouds are moving also because of the depression created by the sun's heat. And the clouds are moving, and they are visible also only because of this sun. So everything is happening because of the sun, and the sun is actually happily away. It is not at all disturbed. It's only because you are seeing it through these clouds and the wind that you think the sun itself is affected. Like that, this Atma Vastu, because of which all these ignorances and things exist, Vikshepa Sakti exist, it is seen as though that Atma is under spell of ignorance and disturbance. 144. Etabhyameva shaktibhyam bandhah pumsas samagataha yabhyam vimohito deham matvatmanam brahmatyayam. So there are two kinds of Shakti. One is Tirodhana Shakti. We saw in 142. Bhanu Prabha Sanjanitabhra Panktihi Bhanim Tirodhaya Vijrumbate Yatha Atmodita Hankriti Atmadattvam Tata Tirodhaya Vijrumbate Swayam. The clouds are just covering, but they appear only because of the sun. So that is the Avarana Shakti. But the covering, when it is augmented by what? By the wind, then not only the sun is covered, but there is an appearance of so many other things on the cloud, on the sun, as though the sun is moving here and there. There are a lot of activities which are affecting the sun. Vyathayati hima janjavayurugro yataitan. So these are two. One, this is Vikshepa. The wind accompanying is Vikshepa. The cloud covering is Avarana. So these two Shaktis, Etabhyameva Shaktibhyam. By these, because of these two Shaktis, Bandhaha Pumsaha Samagataha. The bondage has come for the human being. Yabhyam Vimohitaha. And coming under the spell of these two covering and Vikshepa, Avarana and Vikshepa, Deham Matva Atmanam Brahmati Ayam. The person takes oneself to be the body which is getting afflicted by all kinds of problems. And then the person wanders here and there thinking, how do I get rid of all this? Oh, I don't want any more life. I don't want any rebirth. Okay, no more births. The life itself is a toil. Samsara, all that. Because he takes himself to be this body and things associated with it. Now 145. Bijam samsriti bhumi jasyatu tamo dehat nadhirankuraha ragah pallava mambu karma tuvapuf skandho savassakikaha agrani indriya samhyatischa vishaya pushpani dukkham balam nana karma samudbhavam bahuvidham bhoktatra jivakkaha. Bijam samsriti bhumijasya. This samsriti bhumi, bhumija means, this is very beautiful verse here. Bhumija, bhumi means what? The earth. Bhumija means that which is born from the bhumi, the trees. Okay. The tree is bhumija. That what kind of tree is it? The samsriti bhumija. Samsriti means samsara. birth and death, punya papa, all this toiling around is called samsara. Samsriti bhumijasya bijam. The seed from which the tree of samsara has grown, okay, of that bija. Samsriti bhumijasya bijam is what? To tamaha, dehatma dihi ankuraha. Okay, that sprout. What is the sprout? Dehatma dihi. Identifying deha eva atma. I am this body, iti dihi. That buddhi. Okay, that buddhi, that I am this body, that is the first sprout of this samsara. The samsara is a big full-blown tree. Okay, this full-blown tree starts with what? The sprout. That sprout is dehatma. The whole thing starts with I am this body. Then ragav pallavam. The attachment or its tender leaves. Okay. The first is I am this body, and then all the attachments of this body. Okay. That this is mine, this is my father, this is my child, this is my wife, this is my house, this is my car. All these are pallavam. They are the tender leaves. Ambu karma. Then how do you water this samsara? By doing activity. I will do this so that I can get this. I will achieve this. So that kind of a thing keeps on watering this samsara because it has to grow. Just the attachment, it's a very small thing. But when you start working towards this attachment, I should get more car, I should get more money, I should get more houses, I need more bank balance, I need more wives. That is also there. People just keep, these days, they marry, divorce. After 5 wives also, they are not yet sure whether they got the right person. Okay. So, there is no end to all this. So, but by doing this, you are actually watering. People think by doing more and more, you actually will get rid of it. Okay, that is, they show in that movie also. Movies they show by having enough smoke in one day, the person starts hating smoke. It doesn't work like that. Okay, by having it more and more, your vasana only increases. Like having ice cream. How much ice cream you would have had in life? Does your like for the ice cream go away? It doesn't go away. It just goes away temporarily. After having 3 ice creams, maybe you sing for now it is enough. That's all. But this karma, pursuing it actually waters it. Ambu karma, papuhu skandaha. Okay. Then the body is on which you are working on, it becomes the trunk on which. So this body is what everything else is sitting. Asavashakikaha. Okay. All this prana and all that are its branches. Then agrani indriya samhati. The twigs that are in the edge of the branches is indriya samhati. It is all the indriya which only actually like does the senses, sensing. And vishayaha pushpani. For the samsara, the flowers are what? The various sense objects that makes you look, I am very happy. Okay, but it is everything is samsara. Dukkham palam. The fruits are what? Dukkha. Okay. Dukkham palam nana karma samudbhavam. Because of so much of activity, watering that you are doing, then this flower and fruits are born. The dukkha is born. Sense objects transform into dukkha. That's why sense objects are flowers and nana karma samudbhavam dukkham phalam. The flowers only have to become the fruit now, in many cases. Okay. Bahuvidham bhokta atra jiva kaga. The bird that eats is the jiva. It is the jiva which sits and eats this fruit, which is the samsara. In this samsara, you are actually not part of the tree. That is what is very important here. See what he says. Jivaha kaga. The jiva is like a bird which is sitting on this samsara tree. It is not part of the tree. But it eats the dukkha, everything. Okay. Samsara is the tree. Everything, there's a beautiful simile. Okay. You can keep on contemplating on this. Okay. The beauty is this samsara is not anyway part of the jiva, but it identifies itself with it by eating that fruit, and basically it is eating the dukkha of this samsara. And because this samsara is so vast, he has composed it using some chandas which is too big. Okay, Bijam Samsriti Bhumi Jasyatutamo Dehatmadirankuraha Agah Pallavam Ambu Karmatab Tuapuskando Savasakika Agranindriya Samhatischa Vishaya Pushpani Dukkham Balam Nana Karma Samudbhavam Bakupitam Proktatra Jivakaga. Okay, like your Dakshinamurti Stotra. Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam. We sing, right? Like that here. Bijam Samsriti Bhumi Jasyatutamaha Dehatma Dhirankuraha. Okay. So, he has used this chandas because of what? To make it show that this samsara is so big. He could have done it in Trishtu, but he has used Anushtup here to show that, like even in the case of Vishwarupa, the entire Vishwarupa Darshanam in Bhagavad Gita is presented by Bhagavan using the Anushtup Chandas only. Okay, not Trishtup. Now going to 146. Ajnanamuloyam anatma naisargiko nadiranantairitaha Janmapyayavyadi jaradi dukkha pravahapatam janayatyamushya Ajnana mulaha. Mula means the root. It is rooted in ajnana. Ayam anatma bantaha. The attachment towards anatma, identifying oneself with anatma. The entire samsara is anatma only. Okay. That anatma bandha is ajnana mulaha. It is rooted in ignorance. Naisargikaha, anadihi, anantaha, iritaha, naisargikaha. It's without beginning. It is on its own. It's not caused by anything. There is no connection to you, but it is beginningless and it doesn't end. This bandha doesn't end, but it can be falsified. End means it has to be within the bounds of time, but here it is not, cannot be ended. Then don't ask, but by jnanam the samsara will end. No, you should not ask. Samsara doesn't end. Samsara is falsified. There is a difference between something ending, something falsification means it. You recognize that it doesn't exist. You don't need to end. Bhavasagar sabu suk gaire. You don't have to cross it at all because it doesn't exist. Its existence is falsified. You recognize that it is false. Janma pyaya yara dukkha pravahapatam janayati amushya. Janma means birth. Okay, apyaya, death. Then vyadhi. Okay, vyadhi, you know what we are, disease. Jara, aging. Dukkha pravahapatam. This line, there is a pravaha of dukkha. There is a sequence of misery. Patam janayati amushya. Okay, it subjects people to all these miseries. What causes ajnana mulaha? Now your question will be, if suppose ajnana goes away, then will I not become old? Will I live ever? Will I not be born? Yes, that is right. When the ajnana is gone, you see yourself as not the one who is subject to birth, death, aging and disease. Your swarupa is not what you think you are. Avichar, what you think you are is avichara siddham. It has been assumed without any vichara analysis. Once you really look at who you are, you find out that you are none of what you think you are, but you are actually nirvikalpa swarupa, nirakara, nirguna, shuddha swarupa. Then all these things are falsified. Let's go to 147. Nastrair shastrair anilo anilena vanhina chetum na shakyo na cha karma kotibhi viveka vijnana mahasina vina tatu prasadena shitena manjuna. This bondage cannot be destroyed by na astraihi, by weapons. It cannot be, any astra cannot kill this bondage. Na shastraihi, nor shastra is astra and shastra. The difference is one is with mantra, the other is without mantra. Okay, Brahmastra, Nagastra, these are all astra, which means there is some mantra which goes guided missile. Shastra means without all that. Anilena, Anila means wind. Vanhina, by fire. Chetum na shakya, it cannot be penetrated or cut. Nacha karma koti bihi. The other thing people will think by doing lot of action. Can this bondage be broken by doing lot of punya? No karma can remove it because the karma itself is rooted in this ignorance. But then how does this ignorance, how is it cut? There is a beautiful sword, asina, maha asina. There is a sword, asi. What is this asi? Viveka vijnanam. By the Viveka, discrimination, and the Viveka is based on Shruti Vakya, by Shastra. It's not like you sit and do Viveka, like you do the analysis by yourself and arrive at it. It's not like that. Then what is it? The Shrutimatas Tarkonu Santiyatam, the Veda Vakya, the Vedanta Vakyas of the Guru are understood properly by logically understanding what is it saying. That is Viveka Vijnana. Vina dhatu prasadena shitena manjuna. Okay, dhatu, dhata means Ishvara. Ishvara's prasada. Okay, that Ishvara's prasadena shitena manjuna vina. That sword of discrimination, that Viveka Vijnana Mahasi, it has to be sharpened. It doesn't cut sometimes. How do you sharpen it? Using what? The Ishvara Prasada. That is Karma Yoga. That is Ishvara Prasada. By Karma Yoga, Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, you do karma that becomes Ishvara Prasada, by which this knives are sharpened, and using that you just cut that ignorance. Katak. Okay? That's it, so simple. 148. Shruti Pramanika Mate Swadharma Nishta Tayaivatma Vishuddhirasya Vishuddha Buddhe Paramatma Vedanam Tenaiva Samsara Samula Nashaha. Shruti Pramana Ekamatehe. The Shruti Pramana, the means of Shruti. Because anything is a knowledge only if it is obtained through a proper means. If you see milk to be red in color, how did you see that milk? By putting some sunglasses on, red colored glasses. Your milk is appearing as red. Is it a valid means of, it's a valid knowledge? No, milk is white. But the means of knowledge was disturbed. And then another guy says, milk is having no color like water. Okay, how did you find out? Because I touched it. I closed my eyes and touched the milk. I earlier touched the water. They both felt the same. Therefore, the milk has to be like water. If water has no color, milk also has no color. Because when I touch, they feel the same. Is this correct? No. Why? Touch is a means of knowledge, isn't it? Yes. Touch is indeed a means of knowledge. You know touch. You can touch and say this is solid, this is liquid by touch. So to find out a solid and liquid, touch is a valid means of knowledge. But to find the color, touch is not a valid means of knowledge. So for you to gain a knowledge, you need a means of knowledge, and it should be a valid means of knowledge. So here, you need a valid means to know the Atma. What is a valid means for knowing Atma? It cannot be a means that is employed by you, your Ahankara, the Jiva. Why? Because this knowledge is the knowledge of who you are. If you already employ a means, that in that employing the means, your real Swarupa is already lost. Because when you are employing, you become a Pramata, and you are looking for a Prameya, and your Pramana is the means that you are yourself employing, like your eyesight, touch, taste, whatever. So that will not show who you are. So you need an independent means of knowledge. That independent means of knowledge is Shruti Pramana. The Shruti Pramana alone can give you knowledge. Ekamatehe. The one who is fully submitted to the Shruti Pramana. So that submission is Sharanagati. When you say surrendered to Shruti, you are also saying surrendered to the Guru. Because Shruti is always along with Acharya. Okay, because the Acharya only, Acharyavan Purusho Veda, only the person who has an Acharya who can be, because it's an independent means of knowledge. You can't employ it yourself. It needs to independently operate. Means you just submit yourself to the pramana operating. So somebody has to make the pramana operated on you. Like a doctor is operating a patient. Your guru has to operate the pramana so that you just sit in stillness and let the pramana operate. You don't interfere. Your mind does not interfere in the operation of pramana. Then only knowledge can take place. That is how this knowledge has been brought until you. It has been brought to you because whoever is telling you surrendered to a guru and let the pramana be operated. And that guru, he or she, let the pramana be operated by his or her guru. And that goes on and on and on. That is why if we don't have shraddha on the person who is teaching, it is better not to listen to that person. Okay. There is no loss for the person who is teaching. Okay. But by listening to somebody with whom you don't have shraddha, it is counterproductive. So the pramanika patehe. So you have to be devoted to Shruti Pramana and the Acharya who is teaching. Then only it will work. Swadharma nishtha. And the person who is also dedicated to Swadharma, Taya eva Atma Vishuddhi. From that, the mind gets purified. Atma Vishuddhi means mind purify. Atma is always pure. There is no Atma. Here Atma means mind. Vishuddha buddhehe Paramatma Vedanam Tenaiva Samsara Mula Nasha. This Shuddhanta Karanam then recognize Paramatma through the Shrutivakya unfolded by the Guru. That only removes the samsara. Okay. Now we are getting into Panchakosha Vichara. Koshairan 149. Koshairannamayadhyaiः panchavihi atmana sambrito bhati nijashakti samutpannaiः shaivala patalair ivambuvapistham. Yoshaihi annamayadhyaiः. By the errors which are committed on various levels, at various levels. This is how my Guruji actually translates. Because if you say Koshai means sheath, then people will think like onion, there are many sheaths. Your Atma is covered after Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya means outermost sheath is Annamaya. If you break that, then you have Pranamaya. If you break that, then Manomaya. If you break that, then Vijnanamaya. If you break that, Anandamaya. Finally, if everything is broken, inside there is a small Atma. That is how people will understand if you use words like sheath and all that. It is not sheath which is covering. The cover is always the ignorance. So you commit mistakes at 5 levels. The first mistake you make is that I am this body. That is the first covering. You are covered by an ignorance, that's all. The next covering is you make a mistake that I am, even if I am not this body, I am probably the energy which is making me thrive. If the energy is gone, I am not there, even though body is there. Therefore, I am the energy. That is prana. Then if that is also dismissed, then you think, oh, I am not the energy, I am the mind. If the mind is not there, then I don't exist. I have to exist means that my mind has to be there. Otherwise, I am in coma. I am not existing. Then, if that is also dismissed, then you say, I am the Vijnana, the Karta, the doer, the one who decides and does. Then that also dismissed. Then I am the Bhokta, Vihananda, I am the enjoyer. These are all places where you commit mistake. That is why they are called sheath. Koshavat achhadaniyatvat. It covers as though like a sheath. Koshaihi annamayatihi. By these kind of sheaths, I am using the sheaths very consciously now. Okay, means just the cover of ignorance, the mistakes. That's what I mean by sheath here. Okay, panchabihi. These 5 kinds of errors. Atmana samvrito bhati. Okay, the samvritaha na bhati. It being covered by this, it is not evident. It's as though not evident. Because your mind is all the time, when you say, who are you? When I ask you, who are you? You identify yourself with this body, or I am Mr. Subramanian. Or you say, I am the one who is struggling here. Or you say, I am the one who is all the time sorrowful. Something. Depends on what you answer, you are identifying either with the physical body or the energy or the mind or whatever. But your actual Swarupa is lost. Nijashakti samutpannehi shaivala patalaihi iva ambhu vapi. Okay. Water. Ambu means water. Vapi stam. Vapi means well or tank. The water in the tank, vapi stam ambu. Nija Shakti samutpannehi shaivala patalaihi. Okay, by sludge being accumulated, the water is not seen. Its own water only creates the sludge. Nija Shakti samutpanne. It is by its own strength it is created. But it is covering it. You don't see the water because the sludge is covering. Now on, what should you do? Remove the sludge. Then pure water is always there. And it removes the thirst. So he says in the next one, 150, Tachaiva lapanaye samyak salilam pratiyate shuddham trishna santapaharam sadya saukhya pradam param pumsaha. The Shaivala, the sludge in it is removed. Okay. Patalam means cover. Okay. Apanaye, when it is removed, then samyak salilam shuddham pratiyate. The pure water becomes visible. Then you can drink trishna santapaharam. Your thirst can be quenched. You look at the sludge and you think there is no water, I will be thirsty, I will die thirsty. Who is going to quench my thirst? Wherever you are seeing the sludge, there itself water only is there. You just have to remove the sludge. Water is right there in front of you. Similarly, here also, your Swarupa is right there, being obstructed by the ignorance. Just remove it. You are there. Krishna Santapaharam Saukhya Pradam. It gives you Sukha, Swarupa Sukha. We will see Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.